Alright, so where do you want to start? Well, we'll start with the IRC and how everything started out there. So, me and Prospector are really kind of old hats in Minecraft. We haven't really done any sort of organized griefing since, well, beta, like since the official release. So a couple days
I'll
ago,
I'll say this: the last time I played Minecraft seriously, Bucket was still in existence and was still big.
well, Bucket's still in existence. It was before the Evil Seth freak out a year ago, and
Yeah.
because I actually, for the longest time, thought that was real. I guess like a week later, Mojang was, or Microsoft, or whoever was like, yeah, we own Bucket now. You can't shut it down. So it stayed up. Anyway, so we went back and we were like, well, let's look on hack forums and just see what kind of clients we can get. So we looked, and really, compared to the old days, there's not much out there. I mean, it looks like there's Wolfram, and then there's that other one that I can't remember the name of. Worst. Uh,
Notice also exists apparently.
Note. Well, yeah, I couldn't find Notice. I couldn't reliably find Notice. I could find Notice on that Wizard Hacks thing that has like a just a collection of all the different types of clients, but I didn't think that looked very trustworthy. So I thought I was going to stray from that a little bit. Anyway, so we download Wolfram, and part of the thing about, or one of the things that Wolfram has is this IRC client built in, which connects to their IRC server, which I'm going to keep the information hidden because I don't want anybody else to find out about this. But we were able to join this IRC channel using some various techniques to figure out what the information was, and we joined, and there are over 1,000 people here because everybody who loads up Wolfram client loads into this server.
Sadly.
Yeah, well, so with over 1,000 people, sometimes you get people who aren't quite sure what they're talking about, and by sometimes I mean most of the time. So that is what this video
I would
is.
say there's about 7 out of 8 people who have no fucking clue what they're talking about, and then every once in a while, if you're on at the right time or something like that, find somebody who is at least mildly intelligent.
That's what this video is about.
Yeah.
Coming back from like I bought Minecraft in 1.7.3, and that was a long update. There was quite the gap between 1.7.3 and the adventure update 1.8. So I played in that little time frame for the longest time, and that was like the prime time. You could look on hack forums every day, and like every single day there'd be like 10 new clients, and then you could pull out your popcorn and watch the drama of he stole my code, he stole this exploit. It was great. It was a fun time to play around. It was a fun time to actually like get a client and go griefing because it was great because there were a lot of holes and different plugins and Bucket and Minecraft, so many cool different things. It was great. I don't. You joined earlier. You joined a lot earlier, like a
Me?
year
Oh
earlier.
yeah, dude. Someone bought me. A friend of mine bought me Minecraft. Oh man. This was back before food was even implemented, stuff like that.
So
Uh,
and we both sort of dropped off around like 1.8 ish. I remember 1.8 was when other Jason brought in the Tekkit server, and then that was around for a couple months, maybe 6 months we were around, and then we sort of dropped away. And now coming back like a year later, year and a half later, almost 2 years later, we're wondering what the heck happened. A lot of the intelligence seems to have just got up and left, and that is what this video is about. So, do you want to move to the forum post, or do you want to? Do you have anything else to say
yes.
about the IRC? We'll come
Well,
back to it later, but for
yeah,
like
we'll
introduction
come back to it
purposes.
later. There's nothing else that I really have to say for it for now.
All right. So we the other night were just again idling on the IRC, trying to answer questions, be somewhat helpful, trying to get on Shadowsplight's good side. And we both got a little tired of repeating things. One of the things
Yeah.
that did happen, I will say, was pretty useful. Was Shoutbot? Was it in announcements or was it in? Where was his FAQ? There we go. Um, So this Shoutbot guy made like a frequently asked questions thing with answers for how to do command book, how to do the sign crash, how to use IRC, the IRC client built in the game, and all the great stuff. Which is somewhat useful, but only if people are willing to actually go look for it. More on that later. So the
Project, they're not.
so the idea was somebody asks a question, we send them this link, they go to the link, they read it, they become more intelligent because they're reading and learning, and then we go from there. Uh, you go, Baker, your turn.
Do
I'm
you
going
want me
back to
to
the
go
forum post.
into my actual forum post?
Yeah. Break that down. Well, expand on it.
Yeah. Anyways, I made a forum post yesterday at about 11:27. Um.
Exactly
mm,
11:27.
Yeah, I know. I'm reading the forum post. Thank you.
Also not 11:20. What?
It doesn't matter.
Never
Anyways,
mind. Mine says 7:27 in the
cool.
morning.
Anyways, it says, face the facts. Nothing most of you are doing is going to get anyone anywhere. And this is me talking about how people go about it.
This was
Because
basically a rant. I imagine you just sat down and
I
started
did.
writing and didn't
I
stop until you
just
got to the end.
That's just how it ended out. Uh, I got frustrated with people in the IRC being like, "Yeah, let's go raid this server," and then five of them join in and they just start trying to slap down crash signs and just be total asshats. Especially since we went to go help out one guy who we really shouldn't have helped out to begin with. I guess he lost his admin or something like that. And there were like six of them that were all trying to raid this server. Now, we went about it our way. We do our subtle little thing where we're nice and polite. We do everything by the book for the first, like, 10 minutes. And these guys are sitting around being asshats, and they're starting to get us caught kind of too because they start like trying to message me at least.
No, it wasn't even that. Well, we
Well,
went off on our own and we found some different things and we did our thing. There's a video of it, but I screwed up on the recording and my voice isn't a part of it. So I can try to do some of it, but it might be to music or something because my voice, like I screwed up the audio recording. But
anyway,
well, part of
that
the
was
part of the reason why I got caught is because we logged in like right after they did, and one of the admins said, "Are you guys here to like build or whatever?" And they were like, "Cause you guys joined with all the other guys we just banned. Like you joined at the same time as them."
and that's the issue is that if you're one of those people who joins and immediately tries to get yourself banned, you're doing it wrong. I said it exactly here. Uh, every night that I'm in the IRC, I see the same sort of thing. People mass join a server or something and do something stupid and get immediately banned. You haven't even mildly inconvenienced anyone aside from yourself and the people who have to read you talk about it. Stop doing that. You make yourself out to be a total fucking retard. No one thinks you're funny. You're not being entertaining in any way. You are just being dumb. So I sat down and I made a list of, you know, things that you should and shouldn't do necessarily. And this isn't a god list. There are some things that I need to add and remove from this list. But the basics is more or less this. And this is going off of IRC chat. Some of the things that you should not do, and this is why as well. Immediately slap down crash signs as soon as you join a server. This should be obvious. However, to most of these people, it is not. For some reason, people are under the assumption that when you slap down a crash sign, it's going to crash a server. That's not how it works. It is a client-side crash. If the fucking admins figure out that you're doing it, they're just going to remove it, and you're going to get yourself banned. And you've maybe knocked a few people out of the server for like 2 or 3 times, and then they come back, and it's like nothing happened.
Actually, I sort of want to touch on this. I want to thank all the people that do this because I actually wrote a plugin like 2.5 years ago. Well, not 2.5 years ago, maybe 1.5 years ago, back when Bucket was still big. And me and another friend, Mason, Jay knows Mason, we sat down and we started writing a couple plugins just because we wanted to practice our Java. And I wrote one that actually keeps track of signs that are placed and what they say and who placed them and exactly where they placed them and the entire contents. And oddly enough, it recently saw a spike in traffic and a spike in downloads and a spike in the metrics usage. And I really wonder why that is. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, I mean, totally weird.
Can't see any reason why an admin would want to get a plugin that tells them exactly where, when, and how you placed a sign. So,
Anyways,
oh, by the way, I get paid for each download. A couple cents, but
it's still a little something. Anyways, another thing that you should not do, and this is really sad that I have to talk about this. Quote unquote, DDoSing. Especially if you do have the actual tools for it instead of trying to use slash ping or CMD, you fucking morons. That's not how that works. I have argued with, at this point, 3, I think, people who have tried to tell me that you can crash servers and DDoS them by using slash ping. That's not how it works.
I almost want to pull up the box and show how to like what it actually looks like when you do slash ping, and then what it actually looks like when there's a real attack.
I will also say this. This is kind of similar. This doesn't really have to do as much with servers, but there was a fine gentleman who came in one night and said, "Lol, I just DDoSed my school's
We
network."
have that. We have that somewhere. Where is it?
And I looked at it, and I was just like,
There.
"Why would you even begin to say that?" One, I don't think he actually did it because he said that he used ping. I'm pretty sure he said he used ping and or some form of CMD.
There you go. That one.
And he's like, "Yeah,
He threw a terminal at it.
yeah, he threw a terminal." You gotta give him credit for that. That's some heavy labor. Uh, so I basically just told him, I was like, "Yeah, well, have fun with that federal crime." Now this scum gentleman was nice enough to inform him that he should probably try and change his IP. And well, given that the fact that he just said sure with a lot of dots for whatever reason he added that many dots, he may or may not still be in the community. Anyways, yeah, just, please don't even try and pretend that you know what you're talking about with slash ping and telling people that it's a DDoS tool or something like that. That does nothing but probe the network. Now, another thing. This is more for people trying to advertise servers or trying to just be annoying. I know somebody on the server that I actually play on came around and started doing this. They had some kind of nice little spam chat thing that they had set up that was just basically calling people niggers and faggots and all this kind of shit.
So basically,
And
what you do over the microphone all the time.
yes, but here's the thing, is that he did it in a way that it wasn't funny. It spammed the chat, and he got banned almost instantly.
That
You
is
know
the
what?
thing. Most
No one
modern
was
servers,
inconvenienced.
most modern servers have a chat flood thing, and if you
Yeah.
flood the chat with X amount of messages a second, you automatically get kicked. No human intervention required at all.
And a lot of the times it doesn't even show up. So, you're just doing nothing. Another thing that you shouldn't do. Be really obvious with what you're doing. These are the people who don't use Silent Sneak, who V-clip and H-clip in front of admins, who try and use fly hacks and anti-cheat servers. You're going to get caught before you do anything. You're being dumb.
I will say the reason most people do that, the reason that that one in particular is a problem is that the ideology these days, the ideology behind the whole scene is let me go in, make a mess, laugh for a second or two, and then move on to the next server and do that. There is no sort of dedication. It's
The
just
sad thing is, though, is that no one's laughing about it, and if they are laughing about it, then what is there to laugh about? Because they don't actually do any damage. They go in there and they do like 2 or 3 things, and then admin immediately sees what they're doing and is just like, yeah, bye.
I mean, I don't necessarily in my opinion it doesn't even necessarily have to be permanent. It just has to be some sort of effort. Walking in and like doing
It's like
one
walking in and screaming, "I'm a retard." Everyone's gonna look at you and be like, "Yeah, you are a retard." And then what?
banhammer.
Ban.
Right,
Yeah.
pretty much. I mean,
Uh,
you don't have to like sit down and plan out exactly how you can do
yeah, you
something
don't have
serious, something permanent. You just have to put some effort in, even if
like
it's not
we did
permanent.
Venom PvP. That was not necessarily serious effort. We sat down and we said, "All right, let's go raid a bunch of bases, and we're just gonna do whatever with it once we're done." And that's what we did. we just stole a bunch of stuff, destroyed a bunch of bases, and then just destroyed everything in the end because, well, it was funny. Anyways, to continue on, this is really sad that I should have to tell people this. Don't use slash message to talk about hacking. Admins get social spy and stuff like that. You will be found out. You
Another
will
th
have proof, and you will get banned, like, instantly.
Another thing that I want to add in, it's not on your list, but a lot of people use the reveal invisible people in the client as like a crutch. I remember the name of the plugin I was talking about the other night because somebody used it on us while we were doing something. There was a guy
Yeah.
there, and then suddenly he was not, and we couldn't detect him at all. We tried all of our tricks, and we couldn't detect him at all. And I remembered the name of the plugin. It's Vanish No Packet, and the reason it's called No Packet is because they effectively leave the server. The server's still sending them information, but they're not sending any information to the server. They are effectively out of the game, but they can still see everything. There's no way to see them, though. They don't show up in the player list, they don't show up in chat, they show up nowhere. So that's the thing. Even if it doesn't appear to be that way, there is always the chance that someone is watching you.
Yeah. I have talked my way out of admins, seeing me starting to do things like 2 or 3 times. I remember specifically on that shift click gaming, that admin when we were breaking into that little
Oh
mine
my god.
base.
So, you're
And I turned,
finding anything?
yeah, I turned around, and he is like, "Hey," as I'm looking down through my cave finder to find an access point to this place, and I was just like, "Oh hey, I'm just mining. I haven't found a whole lot down here." And he was like, "Oh, well, you found a good place to mine." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I did." So he went around and actually placed torches for me and tried to help me out there. I've talked my way out of admin sits and stuff like that a lot.
The, tr-
However,
the
there's
trick,
only so
yeah,
much you can do.
there's only so much you can do, and the reason that he got away with all that is because
I
up
wasn't being stupidly obvious.
he was innocent up until the point at which he was about to do something that would um not incriminate, but well, incriminate him. He didn't do anything against server rules, and that's the thing.
And I was nice and courteous to the admin. I didn't say, "Hey, admin, go away, fuck off, you're bothering me." That would have just made him angry, and he would have watched me closer. I said, "Hey, I'm trying to do something," and he's like, "Oh yeah, well I'll help you." See,
Hey,
that's
hey,
the kind of
admin,
response that you
get
want.
out of here. I'm trying to break into this guy's base on this server. We're breaking
And you know
into
what?
other people's bases. Is against the rules.
I shit you not, people will do that. People will tell admins to fuck
That's the
off and
thing.
think they're gonna get away with it.
Even if you're
It's like, dude,
even It is another thing to add on. This is probably in the things you should consider doing section, but still, even if you're going to totally disregard them, read the rules of the server so you know what you can do in the presence of admins and what you should not do in the presence of admins, and so that you can talk through loopholes. Because that's the
which is
thing.
what I do.
Yeah.
I have a
Treat
bad habit of when I play Gmod servers, I open up the server rules as I'm sitting in an admin sit. I do a quick read through them, especially the ones that sits like
about.
out. Yeah, and I'll sit there and I'll be like, "Oh well, I could use this as a loophole," and then I'll do it, and I get away with it about 7 out of 8 times.
And if worst comes to worst, do you never play the I didn't read the rules card, but
Play
it,
dumb.
yeah.
Be like, "Oh, well, I didn't entirely understand what that meant."
Or be like, I'm new to this game. I'm not quite sure. Well, in Minecraft, maybe not.
Like,
Not on
I'm not
Gary's
really
mod.
sure about the terminology and stuff like that.
Yeah. All right.
What you shouldn't do, especially if you have like information around about your Minecraft and you do a lot of posting, don't pretend that you're not from America or wherever and that you don't speak good English.
I will say, because here's part of what makes us
Because I
qualified to say
caught
all of
that
this.
guy. That
Here's part of what makes us qualified to do all of this. Me and Jay have been on both sides of the coin. We've pulled off big heists. We've done really, really cool just attacks on servers, but we have also administered them. Me and him both served over a year. I was more like about 2 years on a fairly large server. We won't name it, but we will say they got pretty popular with their YouTube channel with over 20 million views total combined. Um,
I I actually kind of like got reminded the other day, or actually no, it wasn't the other day. It was yesterday. What my original like staff position there before I basically declared myself as head admin.
you
I
were
was
technical
actually
advisor.
security.
You were network security?
That was my yeah that was my final title.
Oh,
That was
that was
my original
great.
title.
He told me the day he brought you on, he was like, "Yeah, we just brought this new guy in. He helped us fix one of the plugins, so we made him admin," which I thought was really stupid.
And you know what? That's one of those wonderful feats of social engineering. I was just kind of like, oh yeah, well you got these problems, I can fix them for you. And that
Anyway,
I was sitting in a Skype call with somebody, and we were talking about it. And I was like, I'm gonna get admin. And he's
any,
like, no, you're not. And then it happened.
anyway, so we've been on both sides of the coin. We've been the people that are not quite following all the server rules, and we've been the people enforcing them. I don't know about Jay, but I have held on a very major, at the time, it's dead now, unfortunately, but at the time, a very major Minecraft server, all positions of administration up to and including uh, basically owner, because the owner eventually stopped doing his job, and I had SSH access to the server, I had FTP access, I had file access, I had access to the financial accounts, so I was basically owner when the owner didn't feel like doing his job, and I started as just a player and moved up. So we've held all aspects of administration of a server, so we know all the tricks and we know everything, and well, I can't say we know everything. That
We
sort
know
of
a lot.
slipped out. We know a lot.
Anyways, anything else to add on that point, or can I continue on to
More
things that you showed?
as for our qualifications, no, I'm pretty sure that's it. I just wanted to say that so people don't think that we're just spouting stuff off without reason.
Yeah, we know what we're doing. We've been doing this for a long time. Uh, I'd like to think that I'm especially good at what I do, just because I've gotten away with so many
You
things
should
because
get
of it.
paid for it if you're that
I
good.
should get paid for it. Anyways, but yeah,
YouTube
we've discussed this.
monetization. Damn it. Say the word for me, because I can't.
Monetizing,
Monetization, I think, is how it's pronounced.
monetization.
Yeah, that
All
could
right.
be down the road some. We'll see. Anyway,
Anyway, yeah. So we are very capable in talking about what we're talking about.
if you
Anyway,
want more information, our two introducing ourselves posts on the Wolfram forums, we each have a different post introducing ourselves where we talk about our various expertise and knowledge bases and all that.
all right.
Things you should consider doing.
Oh yeah. Now this is going to be one that's going to be more informative and less me taking the piss out of others. Uh, Going one at a time, not kind of at least remotely non-affiliated with one another. Don't all join at once in a big mass because someone in the server administration is going to say, "Well, that's weird."
Because despite what
And
you think,
especially don't act like everyone in that group is your friend because there's very few and far times between when there are just big groups of people who immediately join a server who are not interconnected in some way and
exactly.
planning on doing something.
Despite what you think, no major server, unless we're talking like the big hub servers that are holding 2 or 3 thousand people, not even the major servers see 5, 10 people join within a minute of each other. It just doesn't happen
That's just not how it works.
unless they are all related in some way.
And if they find out one of you is hacking, they find out the rest of you are hacking. Which is another thing. Be careful in IRC. I know admins for a lot of servers, and it's what I would do too. Would go in IRC chat and look at all the usernames, and if they ever see those usernames pop up, they immediately ban you.
I will say some admins actually download the Wolfram client thanks to the cape. There is currently no way to disable it, other than not set your Minecraft username on the forums, but unfortunately if you don't set your Minecraft username on the forums, you don't show up as a member in the chat. So this is actually to Shadowsploit. Maybe there is, and I'm just not aware of it, but there should be a way
Yeah,
to
that could
disable
be
the
it.
cape.
I actually I was talking about getting helper on a server yesterday for another member of the IRC, and I pointed out like two or three hackers that were just noticed by using the cape. Anyways, let's continue. Only use certain hacks and set keybinds in case admin shows up.
Hmm.
If you
I will
don't have
say,
panic bound, then you're
yeah,
doing something.
bind panic to a key. I don't care which one. Mine is backspace because it's out of the way and you don't want to press it accidentally because I have an odd assortment of render mods on, as well as there's what?
Same. I have like 10 render mods and
I think my array list cites 14 that I keep on all the time. So they're kind of a hassle to go back and reconfigure it all. But if necessary, you want to have panic at the ready. I think there should
also
also be
things.
like a light panic that disables all things server side, but like not the render mods. But like if you have any sort of movement or player mod on, it'll disable that without disabling the render mod. There you go, two suggestions for Shadow Split in a currently 26-minute video. So
Yeah. Also, things like aimbot and stuff like that. If you plan on using them, bind them.
I
You do
think
not want an admin walking up to you and you immediately flicking to their location.
I will say I think they're pretty cool in some games where it is necessary. Well, not I'm sorry, I didn't mean necessary. Where it's applicable. Any sort of shooter game where there are different like bullets travel in a straight line and there are different hit zones on a player model, then it makes sense to have something that'll snap you there. But in Minecraft, I know it's a highly requested feature for some reason. But I don't even really see the point of aimbot because if you are not capable of swinging a sword at something that is a block or two away from you and hitting it,
Unless you've got reach, which I do, which is useful.
well, it is useful. But even then, it's not that far away from you. It's a pretty large target, and it's a melee weapon. It's not like you're trying to shoot something that's 100 blocks away. It's right in front of you. Um, that's just my little rant on my perceived pointlessness of aimbot. But if somebody else finds it and uses it and finds it an indisposable tool, then fine. But I don't at all.
The main things that we use are like ESPs, V and H clip,
That's alright. Can
and
I interrupt one more time? Things you shouldn't do. Consider a client like this a magic bullet, because it's not. Me and Jay,
yeah.
now I know that other people will disagree with us, but we believe that the most valuable parts of this client are the information gathering tools. All the different ESPs, especially chest ESP. That's the biggest one we use. If you watch the Venom server, anytime we see something, we call out, oh look, there's chests over there. All the different information gathering tools are, in our opinion, the most important. Everything else is just icing on the cake. Some things are way too much, though, and deserve to be left off.
Also, by the way, never underestimate Cave Finder. I found that tool so useful, it's not even funny. Continue though.
Well, I was about to say, and you'll talk about what we're talking about with some of the different tools and mods are just not.
That useful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else to add on that point?
What were we talking about? It was bind it all to a key and just some things you shouldn't use.
Yeah.
Specifically, all the ones that don't serve any function at all, like derp and
That's
the
at the
upside
very
down
end
head.
of the thing. It's
That,
just
well,
like,
all right, we'll get to that at the end. All right. Nice
be
and
nice and courteous to
yeah.
the staff. Uh,
The at least until you
at least
found out
until
in
you found out.
parentheses.
Yeah.
The thing in parentheses is important because if you want to just mouth off at staff members or do whatever you want to different administration on the server, if
They're
you
gonna
want to
watch you
go,
like a hawk.
well, if you want to go out in some sort of blaze of fury, then fine. But until you are otherwise found out, you should act like a normal player. Because
And
that,
sometimes even nicer than a normal player, because then you'll get admin favor, and then they'll leave you alone.
yeah, maybe.
Well, usually. Anyways, next, use the IRC chat to ask questions and talk to others. And when I say ask questions, I do not mean ask questions and then not listen to the answers. If you do that, I'm not going to talk to you again. I'm sorry. If you come in the IRC and you're like, oh, how do I do such and such, and I tell you how to do it, and then you ask again, like not even 5 seconds later, yeah, I'm just going to put you on ignore.
One second, I'm actually checking something right now. I don't have permission to chat in this. I'm checking to see how applicable your next point is with crap. Oh, I disabled IRC. That's why. Because I'm stupid.
Good job.
I don't know if you can actually change your name in the client. I'm
You can.
not sure that's... You can? You can
Yeah.
do /Nick?
Yep. Well, you can't change your name in the client, but you can change your name in the IRC, which is what I was talking about. Yeah, the next point is change your name in IRC. Staff from service will go on and check for name references. If you do not change your IRC name and it still shows your Minecraft
But
username,
how would
all
they
you have to do,
change there?
it's like, I don't remember the exact command.
I don't
I
think
know.
you can.
No, you can. I know you can because I look at like 30 messages every day that's like such and such changes.
That's when they use
Yeah.
that they log in with a different alt.
No, that's not how that works.
I'm
They
certain
change.
it's how it works.
Oh,
I'm 100% positive that's when they use a different alt.
whatever you say. Because I know that we worked with that for a little bit. Remember, because you were like, oh yeah, I want to hide my name on the IRC.
That was using something else. I'll explain that to you later.
Anyways, next, listen to people in the IRC, which goes kind of back to the ask questions and stuff. If they know what they're doing and are trying to help you, listen. Don't be
That
that guy.
that's the most annoying thing. That's really what prompted this above all else. How do you use the book op tool?
We
We
explain it.
explain it. How do you use the book
Use the
op
book
tool?
op
Tell
tool.
me. Tell me now.
Yeah.
That was
And the worst
annoying.
part is that I'll give people advice even after we explain it, and I'll be like, we've explained it to you, but really think about it. It's not gonna work.
Well,
And
that's a story for another day. That's the book op tool is really kind of pointless and it's not going to work and it's already been patched out, so stop trying.
Anyways,
Um,
next
but
point.
this to future-proof this episode of just us talking at a screen. Um, Anything, if you ask any sort of questions, listen to the answers. They might be right. They might be wrong, but at least try it. Unless it's
Yeah.
stupid, like press Alt F4.
Uh, next point would be
I'm gonna start using that now. How do you use the book hack? Press Alt F4.
yeah. Just, uh, I think what you do is you take the nearest sharp object and you stab yourself in the eye. I'm pretty sure that's how you get.
Oh, really? They changed it? Oh,
Oh yeah.
it used to be the Alt F4 thing. Must have been patched out.
Yeah.
Well, from 3.30.
If you got anything sharp, just go ahead and stab it directly in your face. Anyways, next point would be to help others, which is basically what we do as much as we possibly can. I have this bad thing to where if people get on my nerves too much and do that whole thing where they don't listen, I get irritated at them and I start taking the piss out of them, or I will stop talking to them altogether. So, if someone's willing to help you, you should be fucking ecstatic. You should be like, hey, this person's going to tell me how to do these things and how to do them right. That's great. And that's how you should be thinking. Anyway, the last thing, be cautious, cover your tracks. So if you dig, try not to dig directly down to a chest.
Oh my god. Refer to Venom PvP episode 2 for exactly why you should do that. Or why you should not do that.
I wasn't as worried because of how few staff there seem to be and how little they seem to care. But if you're on a smaller server or something like that, and somewhere where grieving really matters, etc., then I would suggest getting and taking some stone or something like that, or some dirt and filling in those holes.
Yeah, I tried to do that, and you were like, "No, don't bother. Just do
Well, that's
social."
why. It's just because there's not a whole lot there, and if they report us, and Adam's gonna look at it and be like, "Oh, cool."
I do want to point out exactly though why you should not dig straight down, and it'll just take me 2 seconds. You keep talking for a second. Oh no, I found it. Oh, this
Go ahead.
glorious gem. You want to just dig one down in parallel?
Oh, yeah, that too.
What an intelligent being you are. Oh!
Irony is good.
Ir- Irony is a beautiful thing.
It is. Especially when you fail to notice that there's holes under you and you just blindly walk into them.
Oh, yeah, you did that too.
Yeah. I don't do that as much as you do, though.
Not as much. Um,
Anyways,
yeah, so follow these tips and listen to people who.
well, let's get through and finish this out. Then.
Alright, well, yeah.
At least try to listen to these, and it will get you at least somewhere.
Well, that's
and
what I was
make
about to
it
say.
far more enjoyable.
Follow the
And you won't get
previous.
in any actual trouble.
Follow the previous tips and recognize that no one person or even any group of people can know everything about a subject. Listen to the people who are going to give you information. Accept help when it's genuine, and just try to do your best. You can actually have an enjoyable experience for yourself and for others, and it'll be great, and you won't get
I
banned.
think we had a blast on
we
Venom.
we had a lot of fun, and the thing with a lot of like the way that this differs from like prank calls and stuff is that with prank calls the idea is to have an enjoyable time for yourself and for the other person that's on the other end of the phone. And while this is not quite as applicable there, there still is the opportunity to, if you can find the opportunity to make other people at least have a somewhat enjoyable
Maybe
time
not the
too.
victims, but at least somebody else who's watching.
And even possibly to give them a good laugh. If they're a good lighthearted person, they might even get a laugh out of it too. And that's the thing.
I don't think the Sky Chest guy is going to be laughing very much.
No, he's not going to be laughing.
I think he's going to be pretty pissed.
No.
Anyways,
But
uh,
there is the chance to make everybody in here at least somewhat have a good time. And that's the goal. At the end of the day, we all want to look back and say, I had fun today. And it was great.
all right. And a little tidbit at the end that I shouldn't have to say. Do not use twerk or derp. You will get banned. They will see it. They don't even have to see it sometimes. Sometimes it's even automated, like what happened to.
No, oh yeah, Stefan.
Yeah,
No
Stefan
cheat,
got
no cheat plus detects
does not
all
like it.
three of the fun things: the head inside out thing, the derp, and the torque. I think it detects head upside down. I'm not entirely sure.
Ban you instantly.
Not,
Well,
well,
maybe not ban. It will kick you. At least.
it'll kick you.
And if somebody looks at the logs and finds it, then you might look at a ban.
It's
Anyways,
pointless. It provides no function.
yeah.
I mean, the idea is to have other people see it, but who else is going to see it? Either it's going to be one of the friends that are doing things with you, which may or may not laugh, but they probably won't because it's not that funny, or it'll be somebody who will either run off and tell an admin or be an admin themselves and be like, that guy over there, yeah, he's using a client that will let him turn his head upside down and inside out, and that is against the server rules, and you will be facing the ban, and it will not be fun.
Yep.
Alright, so does that about wrap things up? Anything else you want to go back to? Touch on a second time, or anything else we left out?
I would just kind of like to make a final point. Grieving is all about subtlety. And what I mean by that is that do not jump in a server and immediately start doing a bunch of stupid things. You go in, you give it a little bit of time, and that's when you start doing the damage. And if you do the damage slowly and very subtly, there is a chance that they may not be able to roll it back. They will be able to roll it back, but depending on how long you take and how much you do, it's gonna make a lot of people angry.
And I will say, part of what we did can't be rolled back. Did like all the items that we took and then
Yeah,
burned.
those are gone.
We didn't even just take them. We took them away and then we put them all in a big pile and burned them all. All
That
of
is
those
another
I
fun thing to
all of
do,
those
and I
well all
guess
of
a lot of
those
people.
in-game millions of dollars are gone. They don't exist anymore. And
Yeah,
they can't give them back because of the way that server economies work. There's no way they can reimburse somebody for that. It's gone.
given especially given everything that we destroyed.
So that was
I
fun.
mean, I destroyed like a half stack of diamond blocks just because I could. We we destroyed so much, and you know what? That's the fun part of it, though. I suggest that if you're gonna go griefing and stuff like that, don't do it for your own wealth.
Do it for
There,
entertainment. That's the only real reason to do it.
yeah. If you're just doing it to like give yourself extra like advantages in PvP and stuff like that, then you're doing this whole thing wrong. You're just being a douche. Stop doing that.
We will say that when we're not going around like griefing of entertainment, we're actually playing vanilla Minecraft, and we actually do get pretty upset. Well, not like we don't get mad, but we do get a little annoyed and upset when somebody has an unfair advantage in some sort of PvP thing, because that's not cool. It's not funny. Now, I will say that may sound a little hypocritical, but there is a pretty distinct difference.
We don't do what we do for gain.
We do it.
If we get things while we grief or we get things while stealing and stuff like that, it's not like we take it and we use it. We just get rid of it. It's gone once we have it.
Because when we sometimes we do care about the game. We have a very large faction that will remain anonymous on an unnamed server, because well, we don't want to be
And
targets or
we play
anything.
100% fairly on that server.
We play 100% fair. We actually put quite a bit of effort in that game. Today I spent an hour and a half while Jay was asleep at 4 in the afternoon, um,
Don't judge
implementing
me.
implementing a series of traps down in the hold. By the way, I don't know if you were able to get on and see those.
I
Um,
haven't been on in a while, but I'll check that out later.
but I mean, yeah, we do sometimes actually go ahead and play. But then there's also the time that we just come on and try to entertain ourselves and others, and that is not for the game. That's for the entertainment. The entertainment value is the only reason to go ahead and do this. If you're giving yourself an unfair advantage, A, you'll probably get caught and it won't work, and B, nobody's benefiting from it except maybe yourself. But
Yeah,
even
if you're
then,
doing it
it's
to
probably
boost,
not even
if you're
likely.
doing it to boost your ego, then you've got the wrong mindset.
We should give a DEF CON talk. We're weighing in at almost 45 minutes now.
All right. That all that being said, I think we should go ahead and wrap it up.
DEF CON 24. Astro and Prospectors talk on griefing.
Hey,
Meet us
maybe
in
my hair
Ballroom
will
B.
come back then.
You need to grow your hair back. Anyway, this has been Astro and Prospector from Team Dova. This little talk, we did it the night after Venom PvP. Only part 1 is up, but we actually did that entire thing over the course of like 6 hours. That's
Yeah,
the thing. We didn't go in for like just 10 minutes and be done. That was six
yeah,
and a half, maybe
spent
seven
several hours
hour.
on that.
6.5, maybe 7 hours, that we invested in that server with a break in
I
between for
had a
food.
blast every single moment.
Oh, it
Even
was.
even if I died or something like that to somebody at spawn, I was just like, yeah, well, I'm just gonna keep going. Doesn't really
Anyway,
matter.
part 1
By the
is
way,
up now.
congratulations to that guy. If he ever sees this video, congratulations, you got me. It was kind of a bitch out move to use
So
it as a boost,
that was
but
the only time that you died to somebody else.
yeah, I know.
We died a couple of times by falling, but that's another story. But yeah, so part 1 is already up. Part 2 is being uploaded as we're making this video. Parts 3, 4, maybe 5, depending on how much content we have, will be up. If not later tonight, then tomorrow. But the point is, this is where we stand right now. These views may change slightly as maybe we warm up to to the current culture or the other culture catches up to what it used to be and how we view it should be. Again, these are our opinions. Follow them, don't follow them, but we'd like to think it's pretty good advice. Um, if you're watching this a year from now and we have either no more videos and we just kind of died, or we have a whole lot more videos and we're somewhat famous, then great. Um, maybe our views are slightly different. Maybe we'll make another video like this sometime down the road. But as of right now, this is how we stand. These are our beliefs that the community is as it currently stands, and our beliefs as to what it should be. Um,
Don't take our word as law.
don't,
We would
yeah,
like you to. We would appreciate it very much, but don't do it just because we are who we are.
do it
We are
because
just other members.
take everything that we said, take it into consideration, and develop your own beliefs based on what we said. We'd
Yeah.
like to think we said some pretty smart stuff, but maybe we didn't. Maybe we just don't know what we're talking about.
Anyways, that being said, I think that wraps it up.
All right. Uh, Again, Astro Prospector Team Dova. If you're watching, you're almost certainly watching this on our YouTube channel, in which case you should go ahead and like it if you agreed with us. If for some reason, or just if what we said did not quite tickle your funny bone, or that was a bad term to use. That was a bad phrase. Give me a good phrase. You just it
Tickle
didn't
your
resonate
people.
with you. You didn't agree with it. Then go ahead and leave us a dislike so we can sort of gauge how other people stand. Either way, feel free to subscribe because we'll have a lot more content hopefully
Also,
coming within.
if you disagree with it, don't. I would rather you not just say, "Oh, well, you guys suck." Be productive. Give us a little bit of feedback. That'll
We
help
would
us. That'll help you.
honestly like to know whether people sort of agree with our mindset or if we're just way
Total
out of left
retards.
field here and just
Yeah.
yeah.
If I
So
sound like a total retard, tell me. I would rather. I would
hey,
rather know that.
hey Jay, guess what?
Hey, what? What?
You know what you sound like?
A
I-
memer.
Yeah, you do sound like a memer, like that Wendy's memer.
I swear to God, we're not gonna bring that up again. Anyways,
Uh,
let's wrap this up.
Yeah, thanks for watching. All right.